Hello and welcome to Justice Matters, brought to you by the Justice Ministry. I'm your host, Talia Suarez. Justice Matters is a discussion program on justice-related topics to provide information that you can use. Having an estate plan is one of the most important provisions that you can make for your loved ones. Thoughtful planning ensures that your family will have less to worry about when you die. After all, where there's a will, there's a way for your family members. Miss Ingrid Cole, Estate Administration Executive from the Administrator General's Department, is here today to tell us more about wills. Welcome, Miss Cole. How are you?
Not bad at all, Miss Suarez. Thank you
so
for
much.
having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us, what exactly is a will?
Okay, so a will is a document which a testator, and here we means the person who is making the will, appoints an executor to administer the estate after his death and directs the manner in which assets are to be distributed to his beneficiaries.
Okay.
So it can be handwritten, it can be computer generated, or typewritten. So the importance of making that will is that the intention of the person is clearly stated.
Yes.
You write down exactly what it is that you want.
We don't have to wonder, we don't have to second guess, we don't
Not
have to
at
try and
all.
figure it out.
Not
It's
at
just
all.
there.
The choice of the personal representative also remains that of the person. You
Okay.
can select whichever personal representative you want, as long as the person is over 18 years old.
Okay.
The executor then can take charge of the assets immediately upon the death of the person.
Okay.
The instructions regarding the burial of the person are clearly known because you're
As
going to
well.
put that in the will as
Okay.
well.
Well, that's an important fact, and I don't think a lot of persons consider that when they are making wills.
Yes,
Okay.
they don't sometimes, but we always encourage them to put it in.
Okay.
I want to be buried beside my grandmother in St. Elizabeth, or I want to be cremated.
Okay.
But you state it clearly.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes, there's a shorter turnaround time for administration of your estate because guess what? You would have put everything in the will and the executor knows exactly where everything is.
Where everything is.
Yes.
So, Mrs. Cole, how do we go about making wills? How can you make a will?
Okay, so to make a will, first it must conform to the Wills Act of 1840. It must be signed by the testator in the presence of two witnesses.
Right.
The witnesses must affix their signature in the presence of the testator as well. The person must have testamentary capacity in that they must have the mental capacity to make the will.
Yes.
They must be of sound mind,
Yes.
memory, and understanding. They must be at least 18 years old and know and approve of the contents of the will.
Okay.
And it should not be as a result of undue influence, fear, or fraud.
Okay. And of course, we have to have our witnesses when we're signing.
Oh,
this will.
yes. And it's important to mention the different clauses in the will. We have the introductory clause, and this is the name, address, and occupation of the testator. That is the person who's making the will.
Right.
You also have to have a revocation clause that says, this is the last will and testament of, of me. And
So
then
even if he made one or he or she made one prior,
yes,
just to make it clear,
yes,
this one
is the last will and testament. And I mean, you can change a will at different times, but it must be, it's the last one that counts.
Okay.
And you appoint executors and trustees under the will and give full descriptions of these persons. So Mary Jane from 12 Ocean Boulevard, Kingston,
Right.
and so on. Then you also give the directions of the burial as well, as I indicated.
Okay.
The distribution clause is important.
Okay.
I leave this box to my son, so and so, or I leave this property to my daughter, and you state exactly where the property is.
Okay, so it has to be as specific as it can be.
Yes.
Now, Mrs. Cole, tell us the lesser known fact, because there's something that possibly a lot of persons don't know.
Okay.
Especially when, it comes to the wills, when it comes to leaving, who is actually in charge to help to distribute these assets, Tell us this lesser known fact.
Well, the thing is that the executor is really in charge of the estate. The executor has the authority to take control of the assets of the estate and can act immediately. You are to be buried, the funds are in the bank, the executor can access those funds immediately.
Okay.
And one of the things about our department, the Administrator General's department, that persons don't know, they can name us as executor
Oh, wow.
of their
Okay,
wills.
free of cost.
Free of cost. In terms of naming us,
Yes.
you know?
Okay,
Yes,
Mrs.
yes.
Cole.
Yeah.
And one last question before you go. What happens when someone
Dies without a
dies
will.
without
Okay.
leaving a will?
When someone dies without leaving a will, it is known as intestacy.
Yes.
And intestacy means that it is governed under the Intestates, Estates and Property Charges Act, which determines who the beneficiaries are.
Yes.
No longer, if it is that you had done a will, you dictate who your beneficiaries are. That act determines who the beneficiaries are.
Okay.
And Section 4 of that act lists the table of distribution. So you have the spouse and the children, the parents, and so on.
Yes.
And it says who
In order.
in order.
In that order.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly in that order.
All righty,
Yes.
Mrs. Cole. I'm sure that persons would be more interested in finding out information
Yes.
about preparing their wills.
Indeed.
And just
Indeed, and I can direct them to our website.
Okay.
We have a will form on our website, and we also have the instructions as to how to complete it. That form, you can complete it immediately
Okay.
because it is there
Okay.
for the person to complete.
To complete. It is there for you.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Ms. Cole, for sharing with us. I am sure that, guess what, this was quite informative for me, and I hope it was for you too. For more information on wills, please visit the Administrator General's Department's website at agd.gov.jm. Thank you so much for tuning in. Check out our social media platforms for opportunities to tell us which justice service you want to hear more about. This has been Justice Matters, brought to you by the Justice Ministry. Remember, we bring Justice Matters to you because justice matters to us.